Okay, so here we are again, back with our journal that we're embellishing. And this is all, well, it's not fully dry yet, but dry enough to take the clips off. And I have my little paper clip on, just holding it in place with our little dangly charms. Looks very pretty. So on to the next one. Now, this is our vellum page. Don't need to do anything with that, it's beautiful as it is. And the quote is, "I am not afraid of storms, for I am learning how to sail my ship," by Louise May Alcott. So beautiful on the tracing paper. So happy I found that little crafting pouch. Okay, so next we have our doily page, our doily pocket page even. Well, it's actually more of a tuck spot than a pocket. Okay, so I have these two doilies. These are decorative doilies. I tea dyed them and then I varnished them with some, I think, did I use, sorry now, just let me think for a second. I used a gloss Mod Podge, or not Mod Podge, gloss liquid text gel medium, this one, just to give them a coat and make them a little bit less susceptible to tearing. That's the idea behind that. It gives a nice little finish on them as well. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I think maybe glue them together. And I am going to be using my trusty tacky glue yet again. I'm going to do this in 2 halves just to make it a little bit easier on myself. So we'll go all the way up the middle here and around here. Doilies can be fiddly to glue down, but if you just take your time and have a little bit of patience, it's fine. You do get good results with them. So I'm going to go all the way around the edges as well, and just a few dots on the bigger areas that I can kind of get to in the patterned piece. I'm not going to try and do every single one, you know, that would be ridiculous and messy. Not that messy is not always a bad thing, you know, but when it's not necessary, especially with glue, I don't like having sticky hands. I think there's a lot of people out there like that though. I'm not the only one. I'm not the only weirdo. I promise. Okay, like I said, a little bit time consuming, but not too bad. I think that should do it. Just have a look for any really open areas. No. No. And I do want to make sure it goes right up to the edge on these bits here. Okay. That looks good. Now, I want to kind of position this centrally, so I need to make sure I get it right first time, because there's no going back with this. You just rip the doilies. Perfection. And be aware that when you're doing this, the glue will come through on the other part of the doily. I've stuck doilies together before, so yeah. Ask me how I know. So, just going to take the worst of it off. And I'm going to put some wax paper in the middle here. And give it a little smooshy smoosh. Another technical term. Same as the last one, used in a different context. Okay. Pick that up and give it a wipe down so that we're not sticking to everything. I'm also going to try and wipe some of this glue because I have the varnish on it. I can get away with wiping some of that off. Okay. And that's my phone. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm going to stick this back in here while we are working on the other side. Same thing again, going around the edges into the centre and some of those more substantial pieces in the pattern. Making sure you get to the edge of the solid piece there in the middle. Just gives it a better finish, it stops snagging and things like that. Excuse me. My animals are all very quiet and placid today. You can't hear anything from them. Now the dogs are at the front. I'm keeping an eye on them out the window while I'm working. But my kitty cat has pretty much disappeared all morning. She's been just sleeping, snoozing. Normally she's in on top of me doing whatever, meowing to go outside or something. Nope, not today. She's having a lazy Sunday, I think. She decided. Honestly, she's probably just waiting for her daddy to get home because he spoils her rotten. She knows that meowing at me for things just gets her nowhere. Unless it's for food or water or things like that, obviously. But when Daddy comes home, it's a different story. Spoiled, rotten she is. That looks good. Same thing. Whoops. Need another little bit on that now. Well done. Duh. Anyway, here we go. Just fold that over. And I have the wax paper in there to protect the other side as well, so that's all good. And I'm pressing it down with the baby wipe and taking up the extra glue at the same time. 2 birds, 1 stone. Happy days. Okay. I think that's good. I'll get the excess out here as well. I don't want to burnish this too hard because it'll take the texture out of the napkins or out of the doilies. Okay. Alright. Shin A. And when I say words like that you don't understand, I'm probably using Irish terms. I don't speak Irish fluently, but you know, it's a leftover from my school days. We kind of tend to use them in situations like this every now and again. Shin just means that's it. Okay, that's good. I think I will hit this with the heat gun just for a second so that I can work with it. Now I'm not going to cut this out. I will have a lot of videos to put together if I keep cutting out and restarting the camera. And I haven't quite figured out the Windows Movie Maker yet. I used to edit my videos on YouTube, but then obviously it's the editor is gone on it, so you know, figure out something else. So sorry about this. I'll make it quick. Okay, so it's not obviously not going to be fully dry, but it's going to be dry enough for me to work with. That's all we need. Okay. Now, I am going to be putting on these little bits on here. Now this is already prepped and this is already prepped. This is just a little initial on a ticket. Again, I can't remember where I got these, I'm so sorry. I cut them out in my Cricut, which is awesome. And on the initial, which is M because the lady's name is Michelle, I did glossy accents just over the M, and no, I didn't, sorry. I take it back, I'm lying to you. I didn't do glossy accents. I actually did clear embossing powder on this, a couple of layers just on the initial, just to give it a little extra oomph. So that and this. Now, so what I am going to do is I am going to be gluing this on and attaching this with the brad so it'll be able to swing like that. And down here underneath, just slightly underneath this, I'll be putting a little banner, and the tab will be coming out here. So that's how it's going to look. I do have a little something extra to go down here as well, but I'll talk about that in a minute. I'm going to have to get this glued on first because it's the first layer. So this needs inking, as always. I know I have some of the inking done, but not all of it. So my apologies if this is terribly boring too. But it won't take long. All the little bits. I also have to punch out the hole on it, which I'll show you in a minute. I don't have a crocodile, I have one hole punch, so I came up with, I don't know, something I've never seen anybody else using. Although it seems pretty, I don't know, intuitive to me. Is that the right word? I don't know, you can tell me now when you see what I'm doing. So I have this punch for eyelets. When you're using eyelets, this punches your hole. It's supposed to be for leather, I think, but I obviously use it for paper and whatever else I might be using at the time. So I need to put this on the second largest hole, or the second smallest hole, I think. And punchy punch. Nope, next one up, is it? Let's have a look again. That's good. Voila. It works. I'm not going to pay 20 odd euro for a crocodile when I have that. Unless something else comes up and I figure I need a crocodile. They're awesome gadgets though, they look really good. Such a huge piece of equipment though, just for punching holes and setting eyelets and I don't know. Anyway, let's get this in here. The script on this isn't important, it's you know, it's not supposed to be kind of really noticed. It just says to Henry here, which is kind of cool, but yeah, let's see. I think around about there, and then our envelopes will be going around about there. There. Yeah, that looks foolish. Okay. So I'm going to keep that in place, just there. And glue this side first. Smushy, smushy. Yeah, I know, I'm weird. You don't have to tell me, people. I know. Am I mumbling to myself? I'm sorry if I am. I don't normally do that. I just think that you can hear me, but when I have my head down, it sounds like I'm mumbling away to myself. Not dry enough. Yeah, it's okay. Okay, that's one side. Let's get the other side of this puppy down. These again are just printouts that I got. I have no idea. I have such a bad head for remembering where I get stuff. And you know, I go on the computer and I'm looking at Pinterest and I'm looking at stuff and I'm just downloading as I'm going. I'm not going specifically looking for things for projects. So it's kind of hard to keep track. I do have some of them in folders on my computer, but when I put the document together to print my pages, I don't even take any notice of where they're coming from. And quite often I'll go into one folder and it's like, ooh, I like that, ooh, I like that, ooh, I like that. And I end up getting everything from one folder. So if it's an untitled folder or if it doesn't have a name on it, I have no clue where the stuff's actually coming from. So, my apologies. My apologies to you guys who might be looking for them. And my apologies to the people who actually supplied them. Okay. Alright, so that's that bit sorted. And next is our envelopes. They're very cute. It's a little envelope and note card. Very cute. I printed these in a couple of different sizes because I really like them. So I'll be using them in a few projects from here on in until they're all gone. I printed quite a few of them. Way more than I needed for this project anyway, that's for sure. I've been trying as well when I'm doing a new project to use up the ephemera that I have already kind of in my stash that I may have printed or just stuff that I have bought even. But it doesn't always work out like that, does it? I've used a few small pieces in this project of stuff that I had in my box, but I am planning on a journal that will use up quite a bit of it. I don't know when I'll get to do it. I have another commission to do after this one, so I don't know when I'll actually get to do that one, but you know, it's there. The idea is there in the noggin anyway. Best of intentions. Okay, so we want this a little offset, not completely straight. And that's good. There we go. Actually, when I was working on the other book like this, I did this piece after gluing the doilies into the book, which was a little bit silly. So, you know, it's a learning process. When I'm doing two as well, you know, something mightn't work out in the first one and I can jig it around and change it for the second one. Which is why I usually do the spare one first and then the actual commissioned one second. Yeah. It's good. And the next thing is find a brad for our swingy tag. And I know I have them on my desk. Here we go. And I wanted to use either the rose or the blue butterfly. On the last one I used a pink butterfly. Let's see how the blue one looks. Just to kind of get away from the roses as well. I feel like there's an awful lot of... It's not that there's an awful lot of roses in this particular journal, but... what do you think? Not digging that. It's too blue. Let's close these up and get a proper look, Rose. Do it right. Like that. Let's see. Nope, not liking that. I might have to go with the rose after all. And you know, there's nothing wrong with that. Yes, there are roses. I mean, vintage, shabby, chic. Generally tends to have a lot of roses in it anyway. for that reason I do try to use other things as well. Anyway, here we go. We have a little rose one, and it is very pretty. Very cute. I need to punch a hole. Now, I have lost my pokey tool. I keep losing my pokey tool. I have no idea where it could possibly be this time. So I'm using a craft knife. Just to, you know, just to get the hole started. So that the legs of the brad will fit through without actually tearing the paper. There we go. Glue all over it. That craft knife gets used for pretty much, not everything, but a lot of things. I scrape glue with it. I do so much with it that I shouldn't probably be doing. But anyway. Okay. Oh, that's cute. Oh, look, I forgot the tag. After all that. Yeah, that would be me. Yeah. Make sure the rose is straight up and pinch these back. So we have a little swingy tag on there. Very cute. Very cute. I like it. I'm going to put a little gem on this as well. Let's see, do I still have them on my desk? I think I should. But of course they're going to evade and elude me. Of course. I don't see them there. Okay, let's have a quick look at my box first. And I may actually have put them away because I do that sometimes. Nope, not over there either. Okay. I do apologise for this, guys. I really did want to have everything kind of in place and ready to go for you. Aha! Ta-da! I knew they were there somewhere. Okay, so let's see. Do I want a smaller one or a larger one? I'm not sure. I'm going to have a look at the smaller one first, because on the other book I did a larger one and I can see how that looks. So I'm just going to check out which I prefer. So my trusty craft knife again. And I'm just going to slice the glue strip here. I don't know if that's what you're actually supposed to do with these gems, but that's how I use them. I just cut the glue apart and use them like that. Sometimes I put glue under them as well, but not always. Yeah, I think that's pretty. There is no glue in the thing, but in the rest of the page is what I'm saying. But I think that's pretty. Yeah, okay. Let's go with that then. Just going to give that a good pressing. And this is another thing that keeps going missing on me, the lid that I use for my craft knife. It's a lid off a marker, but you know, it works. Stops me stabbing myself multiple times every day when I'm in here. Okay, so that's that piece finished. We do have another little piece that I want to put down here, but the one I did on the last one I wasn't perfectly happy with, so I may have to figure something else out. What I want to use is dum-de-dum. This is a little box of small material and fibre scraps that I keep, and in here I have some tea bag paper as well, because you know, wouldn't you always keep your tea bag paper with your fibres? Anyway, I know where they are, that's the main thing. If I put them anywhere else I just lose them. Okay, so as you can see on here I've done some printing. It says Shine. Now I did it in a kind of a coffee colour, and it came up nice, like this one. This is sepia. But when I stuck it down, paper went a little bit more transparent and the stamping kind of disappeared a little bit. So I'm thinking I might have to use the black, which I'm not sure I want to do. I prefer to use a brown stamp on it. Okay, so the inks I used were, excuse me, little mini Ranger archival ink pads, minis again. The only large ink pads I really tend to buy are embossing ink and black ink pads, but I wanted a few different colours in this, so I got my black ink pad in one of these packets of small ones. Anyway, you didn't need to know all that, did you? Sorry. Okay, so I might try the sepia. I don't know. The last one I used was the coffee and that disappeared, so the sepia might... I have it done here in the sepia, so I'm just going to try this. If it doesn't work, I'll put something over to cover it. Let's see, let's experiment. And this is for every single book I do. There's none of them the exact same. It depends on what materials I'm using, what materials I want to use. Sometimes it'll depend on what's on my desk, you know, or sometimes even just the mood I'm in at the time. So like that. It says shine. Don't know if you can see that. Okay, I'm going to stick it down, and I think if it doesn't work, I will actually go over it with a Sharpie or something similar. I think that might be the best way to go, because I really want the tea bag paper on there. I like the way it looks. It looks awesome. So now I'm not going all the way to the edges with this. There's a little bit of dimension left. And I'm going to make sure the lettering stays on the paper underneath, the little tag paper. On the other one it went slightly off, and that's where it disappears most. No, see, it's still kind of disappearing. Okay. Let's press it down with this a little bit. Okay. Yeah, it's still disappearing. Okay, I'm going to have to go back in with a Sharpie at some point, but obviously I can't do that while it's wet, so let us continue. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is stick it into the page. Now, I normally use, this is one place where I will use my glue stick. Sorry. Simply because the doily paper is quite light and it'll stick really well with it. Okay, my glue stick. Now, actually, I have been using these home and office ones from Deals. It's like a €2 shop, not even a €2 shop, another discount shop here in Ireland. And they're, you know, they're good for what they are. But I do have something slightly better that I have been saving for projects like this, because I can't get it easily here. But I did find one Yoo-hoo or Oohoo, I'm not sure which, stick, so I'm going to use that here. I only have a little bit. Oh, that's nasty. I guess I won't be using that after all. Oi. I am so sorry you guys had to see that. So much for saving things, huh? Okay. In that case, I'm actually going to use tacky glue because I don't want to use the other glue stick on this. Oh well. Lesson learned. Just down the centre I do want to be tucking stuff into this, so I want to give it enough grab on the page that it's not just going to come away when you put something in there. So we'll bring it out a little bit. And I'm going to do it one side at a time again. Cool, that looks pretty good. Folds over nicely. Okay, now this is kind of going to bother me because when you slide something in, it's going to get caught on that. But if I just turn that down like that and press to flatten it, ooh, this rose is after going slightly askew on me. There we go. So it's facing away from the page and anything that might be put in there, so that should be okay. And this still swings. Very cute, and this moves with it. Not very good. Okay, I'm going to get a little bit of glossy accents and just tap that down. Of course, I could just bring the glue all the way out here, but I don't really want to. I am going to get out my craft knife again and just push some of that glue under the legs. Make sure there's some under there. I could have just opened it, I know, but you know, that's just not how I roll, is it? Okay. Clean this off. Now, I am going to go ahead and glue this, but I'm going to be careful not to press too hard there. And this is why I keep this upside down on my desk. There we go. Again, I'm going to come out a little bit, but not too far. I do want to be able to actually tuck things in there, so... I find there's a fine line between going not far enough and too far with these tuck spots, to where things will actually stay tucked and not just fall out. So quite often I end up using like paper clips and things to keep things in, but you know, that adds another little decorative element anyway, so it doesn't bother me that much. But I'm always experimenting with it. I'm always trying just a little bit more, just a little bit less. If anyone has a formula for that, feel free to let me know. Okay, now I'm going to not press on this too much because I don't want that sticking to the paper. I want to keep that little gap there. Okay. Yeah, that just disappeared, that ink. Not happy with that at all. Okay, I will revisit that at a later date when this is all dry and I can go at it with a Sharpie. So, that's that side done. Pretty much, yeah.